said I was not.
I wasn't ready for that.
When you do the live video on YouTube, Drizzy, the shit like it just snaps a quick picture. It's like 3, 2, 1, out. And fucking Junior was sitting there. He was looking at it. I was all ready for the pose, and he was all fucked up in the game. He's like, hold on, dog. We got to take that again.
So what is this, episode 3?
This is episode 3. This is the thrizzle. This is the third installment of the Basement Junkies podcast.
Third installment.
Is the thrice. Nah, man. Our hearts are heavy. Mine is for sure. It's a lot of people that feel the same way though. It's after
you say your heart is heavy?
Heart is heavy, Drizzy. And this is Dre on the phone right now, my cousin, and he's the one who let me even know about the George Floyd thing. I had no clue of it. I was just living my merry life. Woke up in the morning, and he gave me that call, and he said, "Man, there's a video you got to see." And I was one thing led to another. I was not ready for what I was about to see. I didn't know I was going to see death. I didn't know I was going to see a transition.
I mean, we witnessed.
Nobody knew.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, bro? And I'm sitting there looking at it, just like taking it all in, and I'm confused. I'm baffled. My heart is like racing quickly as this man is like yelling for his life. He's saying, can't breathe. And then I think the mama thing, when he's yelling for his mother, that is the shit that took everybody overboard, at least for me. And I had even said to somebody, I was like, man, if he didn't say that like him saying mama made people care more. You know what I mean? Somebody was saying that it's black women who show up at these protests and they say that they're there because that man called for his mama. So it's a lot of black women who feel like that. You know what I mean? Because it happened to a black man. So you can understand how black men feel about it because we see ourselves when that happens. And it's weird because there's a lot of white people who they don't connect with it that way.
Yeah.
Because they don't see themselves. Well, if they're looking at it, they can see themselves in the officer, right? If you're a white man and you're looking at that video, you can see yourself as the officer if you're a white man. You don't necessarily see yourself as that black man with the knee on his neck. You know what I mean? Because you usually identify with your own. You're like, you see somebody like when Obama was the president, it made black people believe that I could be that. That's the connection.
I see what you mean, but at the same time, it's like we literally witnessed a human being die for 9 minutes slowly. So it's I get what you mean by white people can see that white officer and kind of like put themselves in their shoes, but at the same time, I think we're at a point now where we just saw a human being's knee on another human being, to kill him. That and for me, it's like, okay, we have different skin colors and stuff, but I personally see all of us as just one race, the human race, the members of this planet. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Our skin color is just byproduct of environment and adaptation.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the thing with the thing about it is obviously we've been here. We've seen this, and it happens every year, really? We get a new cop killing a black person, whether it's shooting, whether it's choking out.
I mean, realistically, I think it's based off of like if it's seen. You know what I'm saying? If it's captured. So you never actually know.
This is true.
How many goes through a year.
Well, that's true because it's been happening since slavery. Yeah. When hangings were legal. I was on a little Boosie page, and that nigga said, "This a hanging." And he's right. He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's like it's a public hanging, and that's how it used to be. That was legal. Public hangings used to be an event. It was like a Sunday event. Families, children, they would come out. It was like a picnic, and it was you would see hangings. So
okay. So what you were saying about how once a year, it happens a lot more than once a year. It's just it has to pass a certain threshold of severity. you know, severity. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so once it passes that threshold, that's when like we put our eyes on it. Right? So for George Floyd, he was dying for 9 minutes. We witnessed him. That camera was on him the whole way through.
Which is different from Eric Garner, my cigarette guy, because if you look at that video, I can pull it up, but if you look at that video, it skips. You see him choking the guy out, and then there's a moment that the camera like edits, and then you come back and then you see like a lifeless Eric Garner sitting on the ground. So you don't see the actual transition of his life, but with this video you do. And I think that's the first time that's ever been captured. Because even if you look at all of the other videos, the video of my man getting shot by the two white guys, and was that in Atlanta?
Oh no, the jogger.
The jogger, the black jogger.
Ahmaud Arbery, I think.
Yes, you look at that video. You look at that video, and it's like it's spotty. A guy's got a camera. He's in a car, and you see him running down the thing, and then you kind of see it. You see it up to the point where they say a shot was off. So like with that footage, it's a lot to work with when you go on a trial with something. It's a lot to work with if it's not just clear, you know, if you don't have 9 minutes of straight, this is what happened. But that's why I say this is unprecedented, because like you said, it's recorded, the whole thing. So we're used to officers getting off afterwards, because that's like normal.
Yeah, but like, okay, so what I was talking about, like that threshold, okay, there's like a checklist here, okay? It was recorded the whole way through. We witnessed him die. Excuse me.
You know, we get calls and stuff. That's how it happens. Shit gets
busy,
you know what I mean?
Busy individual.
Hey, you know how it works.
But excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm just making sure that doesn't happen again.
Oh no, for sure. Definitely put that on it. And you're right. It is a checklist to this shit, and that's what I'm going off of too. That's why I had to.
So like I said, okay, that threshold, right? It's like there literally has to be almost like a checklist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so. Number one, we witnessed his whole death the whole way through. We saw this man die.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two, we also were able to experience like the humanity of it, like the things that you say as you're dying. That's what made us connect even more with this situation. I mean, obviously, it's already bad enough as it is, but the fact that this man was crying for his mom, he was stating every single moment like before his death.
You saw it. And what kills me about it is obviously the officer's lifelessness as he's doing it.
Right, that's checklist. That's part of the checklist. That's number 3. So we were able to see the officer, obviously, that was killing him. No remorse, just like almost even enjoying it, like as one of the bystanders stated.
And he says something to him. He's like, go ahead and stand up. This is what he's saying to him.
I didn't even catch that.
Oh, maybe I should pull it up again.
I mean, I don't know if y'all heard though. Like, I kind of heard from some other video that I watched. It was other people. It was other cops on the guy's back. So it wasn't just the neck part. It was the part past the
right. You have somebody on his back, you got somebody on his lower back, and then you got somebody on his leg. You're right. Now these are the 3 officers that just got charged. These other 3. And it took a while for that. But I think the fire was just so hot that they finally said, well, let's at least bring these guys in. You know what I mean? And what was it, 3 days, 4 days before they got the main guy?
I mean, and even at that, I feel like a lot of this is just caused because of the fact that it's a senseless act of a black person dying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like we talked about this before, it's basically, you know, everybody matters, but it's just the fact that it's a constant collection of just unfortunate black people dying. And, you know, I've been part of it, and everybody else, I'm pretty sure, has some type of story behind it when it comes to police officers.
There's a certain sensitivity, like you just brought up, to it in the air of black people not buying that white people care. And like, case in point, Drew Brees being the center of the news right now because he said that, you know, I have no respect for someone who kneels to the flag. because the flag represents, you know, the military and the fight for our freedoms here. And he said my grandfather and uncles, they fought for this country. And when I go to the football game and I see somebody kneel to the flag, you know, he sees that as a disrespect to the flag. But there is a certain tone deafness to it. Like, if you just see that. Because if you know that Black people have been, you know, in this position for a long time and we lose innocent Black people to racist, evil cops, like if you know that exists, if you know that like we have Black troops and Black people who fought for this country who came back home and couldn't even get a fucking meal and don't have a place to stay and there's no assistance for them, you know, like when you see that, yeah, you say, man, there's something flawed about that flag of freedom. It ain't freedom for everybody else. And even a white man should be able to see, oh yeah, that's that, you know, that happens. And then that's why it's so appalling to see that it's somebody like Drew Brees who played, he's been quarterbacking in New Orleans for Lord knows how long now, what, like 8, 9 years?
It's been a while.
But you gotta remember, before that he was in San Diego with the white folks. But he was looked at as like, you know, what he did for the community in New Orleans and the broken decorator, he gives money, he does a lot of things, you know, but now the timing of this and for him to say that, because he didn't say anything about the George Floyd thing. People try to put those together.
Yeah. You know, but at the same time with him, I feel like he basically didn't understand the situation. He just kind of heard the kneeling thing and it was just like, yeah, let's run with that. You know what I'm saying? He probably was fresh out of quarantine.
For sure. But the nigga, he said it before. This is not the first time he said this exact statement. He said it maybe right when Kaepernick first kneeled. And they asked him, they was like, Drew, what you think about this shit, Drew? And Drew was like, yeah, I mean, look, I got same shit. Nobody really cared. It was a little uproar, but it wasn't like this. It wasn't like people was trying to excommunicate him and niggas is now Atlanta Falcons fans, you know. People jumping ship completely just because they believe he's super racist. And when I saw it, my natural thought was, okay, that's his opinion. He don't see it. But I'm not looking for Drew Brees' support.
What about like, I mean, whatever happened to the right of protest, right? So it's like, does that go out the window when we're talking about the national anthem? And what happens to the right to protest?
Exactly.
Then
now that's, you just brought up a great point. He's null avoiding that freedom when he makes a statement like that. You know what I mean? And I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that's something to think about. What happens to that freedom that we have to protest? You know what I mean? And him, you know, like we have the right to do that. Kaepernick had the right to do that. He was speaking for people who did not have a voice. He's a quarterback in the National Football League. He knelt. He knew everybody.
But you know what? And I did see a video.
Peaceful.
I actually saw it on Reddit with Roger Goodell apologizing about that though.
About Kaepernick?
About the whole kneeling thing and how they took it all wrong and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
And more like the solidarity, like all companies are doing with the solidarity thing.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. But he definitely came up basically like apologizing, you know, because he didn't understand what the situation meant or what it was behind. You know what I'm saying? And just more so trying to understand, I guess.
And so where my biggest thing now is in the aftermath of George Floyd, everybody feels a way. We do our protests. Looting begins.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And at the beginning of looting, what happened? And this was unprecedented. The police force stood back. They said, "Oh no, we're gonna let them do what they do. We're gonna give them 2 nights to just do what they do." They even started planting old police cars so people fuck them up.
Yeah, the bricks.
You know what I mean? Bricks.
Bricks like laying down.
A stack of bricks, like go ahead, just sitting in the middle of the fucking street, Drizzy, like pile of bricks. Yeah. So go ahead and get your frustrations off, guys.
That makes 0 sense.
That was weird to me. I didn't know exactly what that call was. Now I didn't know if because they've never done that. They've never done that. There's always police presence at protests. And then once they got involved, it looked fucking like the 60s, bro. I was like, damn, we a step away from dogs and hoses. It's like, damn. It's how quickly we could be right back in the same shit is what's crazy to me. And how quickly our freedoms can be just taken away, man. You know, and it's a weird thing now that I'm trying to figure out. People are starting to understand that there's a difference between the peaceful protesters and the looters, because at the beginning they were just lumping them all together, and now they're like, oh, we have to separate them. But now it's even like, let's look at the looters real quick. Are all the looters criminals? No. I just saw a video the other day of who would look like peaceful white people looting. You know what I mean? It's so you got criminals involved. And then you got people who are just hurting and don't have no money. And then you have people who just want to get on the action. A young nigga who just like already a klepto. You like, shit, nigga, they hit Foot Locker. I'm up in there. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and that's a real thing. It's a bunch of that. And I don't know how you feel about that, how you all feel about this. Like, how do you feel about the looting? Do you feel like it's a necessary evil at this point, or do you feel like, it's an atrocity, like they should not be looting? That's uncalled for.
Okay, so obviously there's power in numbers, and so when you have something like a protest where you have hundreds of people, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna there's this thing, this free for all mentality. Yes. So it's like, yeah, we're more powerful than them, but some bad apples are gonna go and start to like loot and all this stuff because.
But when survival is a thing, everybody will change their morality to a degree, right? Like,
well, I mean, if
survival is that thing.
As soon as like a tank pulls up with a Gatling gun, ready to freaking let it go on people, they're gonna stop. They're gonna stop looting. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, I personally don't agree with looting at all. But at the same time, it's a desperate course of action.
Yeah.
For revolt. Like, what else are they gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, don't do that. Don't do that.
Like,
don't do that.
Fucking.
But like at the same time, I see how like, cause okay, if you're doing a peaceful protest, yeah, you might get them to listen.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes that might feel like it's not enough. So they want to like they want to take that extra step, that extra mile.
That's the thing right there, because you know when Eric Garner died, people weren't looting. You know, it has to do with the time we're in right now. It has to do with quarantine also. And that's what makes me feel like this is all a fucking game, man, because of the timing of everything. You know what I mean? The timing of all that shit is weird.
Like, okay, like for example, like President Trump the other day when he had some the protests outside of the White House, when he was talking about that the next day, he said, you know, we let him scream and shout all they wanted. Right, we let them scream and shout all they wanted. The Secret Service did a great job, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that to me tells me it's like that's what they think that this is when we're protesting. That we're just screaming and shouting. They're gonna let that pass, and then things will go back to normal.
Well, because the reality is, protest comes to they lose their steam. I mean, that's just humanity. It can't last at this like. The fire won't be this fiery all the time. You know, you're gonna see over time the protest numbers slow down. They're gonna keep happening, but there's gonna be less and less people. And what happens with that is the usual thing that happens is that's when we lose our steam. There's no pickup after that. You know what I mean? Because you got to take that work and then apply it to voting and government and changing policy. All that hard shit that really. A lot of black people and minorities don't even really know how to do. We don't. I personally, I don't even know the first step towards getting a law change. Like the number one thing I think should be fought for right now is policemen policing the neighborhoods that they live in. I think that's the first thing, you know. But you can't just have it should be policing where they live. So you're not allowed to police outside of the community you live in, or the area or the county that you live in. I feel like that matters. I feel like that alone changes a lot.
It could matter, but that's the thing. It could matter, but at the same time, it's a stretch. You know what I'm saying? Because you have so many. So it's not like they're just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna just give you this sector because you live over here. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you this sector because you live over here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like people can live either way. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna necessarily say that you're gonna have a black person who lives in the ghetto because he's a police officer, or you're gonna say you have this because you have that. You see what I'm saying?
See,
but
I think
I see what you're saying. It's going to help. It can help.
It could definitely help.
Anything can help.
And that one specifically, I think is important because you think about it, man. When you talk about police brutality, if I'm policing where I live, yeah, I could do whatever fuck shit that I want while I'm on air. I could give a nigga a knee and kill him while I'm on duty. I could do that, but then I get off and I have to go home in that area. You know, I shop in that area. So people like, I'm accountable. You know what I mean? Like, if I do some fuck shit, it's gonna be known where I live. So I necessarily won't be able to have comfort in living if I perform fuckery. You know what I mean? Where if I'm a white person and I'm patrolling a black neighborhood that I don't know anybody in, you know what I mean? I can do fuck shit and I can go back home and sleep well. And I don't have to worry about any repercussions of anything. Yeah, I have to worry about the blue shield if they find out.
Do you think that's going to be a thing, especially if, you know, you got nowadays where people are just automatically taking out phones? You know what I'm saying? Because that's where the accountability is going to be coming from nowadays. The phones,
well, we've been trying to rely on these fucking what is it? Chest cams that they have.
Yeah, the body cam.
This is supposed to be the thing. You know what I mean? This is supposed to be that accountability. This is supposed to be that move. So like I say, like, moves have been made. Like, this is a fight that we've been fighting, and I hope people do see the progress, because the fact that they have those cameras was because of police brutality. They didn't have those. You know what I mean? That's a newer thing after the Black Deaths. They were like, okay, now we're gonna put these cameras in. But look at what just happened. We got a different ball game now. This nigga's killing people in front of the camera. Okay, you got a camera. Watch this, motherfucker. Stand up. It's like, that's not enough now. Oh, we could say that that's a one-off, but boy, I'd hate to see in another 6 months another dude killing a black guy and it's on camera.
But what the most angering part about all of this is that there are plenty of other ways to restrain somebody.
But he was restrained.
Yeah, I mean, right.
Yeah.
He didn't even need like that type of force.
Yeah, 4 dudes on.
Yeah, 4 officers that were there. Like, he really didn't need that type of force. Plus, he wasn't like resisting in any way that would merit that type of force. That type of force
it wasn't even resisting. He was just trying to breathe.
That type of
He's
force,
like fucking trying to find air.
That type of force is inexcusable at all. Like, there's no way you can do that, man. There's way, yeah, you can.
I feel like the whole thing was inexcusable, bro.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Coming down to the party. Coming down to the party and just sitting there.
How do you not say something when people are telling you, "Hey, man, I think you're killing that guy right now."
Yes, exactly. Like, the bystanders were telling him to get off. He could have at least had him in like an arm bar or something. But he didn't have to put his fucking neck on his fucking knee on his neck. What the hell, man?
That's what makes you think it's hard to fight that particular evil. Like, a bullet can't fight that. You know, that's
yeah. I mean, and that this was like definitely a last straw because like look at what's happening, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, this is the most awareness, but we're still close to it. I still got to see this energy transferred beyond the protest, because that's when we're going to make our money, man. And like I was telling him, hip-hop, motherfuckers and hip-hop rappers, I don't give a fuck who you are. Start to get more educated and get into this politics shit. Because I was telling him, as rappers get older, like, you know, I ain't going to expect the baby and Lil Baby right now to, like, run for fucking alderman. But, you know, as rappers get older, I want to see Killer Mike, you know, I want to see people with a voice. Right. T.I., he seemed like he want to jump up to the plate. you know, it's kind of, you know, it's more people. Even a Kanye West, I don't give a fuck. I want all of them involved. Any and all of them. Ludacris, where you at? What? Nah. You know, you just need people who have a minority, who thinks about minorities when they go. So right now, we got the election coming up.
We need to get Killer Mike in there.
We got to get Killer Mike. And I don't even know how to do it. I don't even know if that nigga wants to do it. hey, see that I was telling him because you know he never voted, right?
No.
So like, you know, you could write in somebody. Like you can write yourself in on the ballot.
I'm gonna write everybody just write Killer Mike in. Next thing we know, Killer Mike's like,
fuck, I didn't even run. Like, I didn't even fucking run. How the hell is this happening? No, but like to be able to do some shit like that.
I didn't know I was gonna get picked.
I swear I didn't know.
Everyone just summons you.
That's hilarious.
That's fucking crazy.
That's crazy. Did you know that? You know Dick Gregory. You know he ran for president. He ran for president in 1967 or 8. And Dick Gregory. He's a comedian. Okay. He just died. If you don't know Dick Gregory, you got homework to do. If anybody don't know Dick Gregory, just put him into YouTube and nigga, open your ears. Yeah. You'll be there for a while. But he ran for president, and he was the first one to kind of put on blast the fake votes and how they manipulate votes in an election. Because he actually won. But it was due to a faulty system. So the system counted up the votes. This for president.
I had no idea.
I know. They buried this shit, bro. His information out there now. He ran for president and won. They elected Dick Gregory president of the United States. But recalled it and said, it's something up with this fucking system. It went haywire. It was rigged. It was rigged for the wrong person. And they buried that, bro. They buried it. It's easy to bury it. Over 40 years, too. Ooh, that's easy to keep that information from motherfuckers. But, yeah, man, we've had a faulty system. And it always surprises me that these truths about our government and things come out. And we just kind of keep rolling. Like, yeah, they fucked off. Yeah, but, you know, I got shit to do.
Exactly.
You know, and that's why I feel like people have more power, man. You know, the government is there to serve us. You know, we invest in the government and they should be investing in us. But it's like, I feel like we have to come up with our own governance system. That's why I say us as black people, we can't start doing that until we own some shit. There's not one neighborhood you know of in America where black people own the bank. In Atlanta, it's 2. But Atlanta is a different fuck. T.I. was right. Atlanta is Wakanda. It's like, that's what niggas is really like. Niggas is progressive in Atlanta, bro. It really is. And I didn't know it was that crazy. But now I see why Tyler's parents built that big ass studio. Where else would you fucking do that? Atlanta, right there. I'm even thinking about it. So whatever infrastructure they got going on there, that needs to marinate into other black communities. And I don't want to put all that pressure on Atlanta to have to fucking give up the juice, but it's black communities in every state, you know? And if those communities operated in that way, be a lot more power in the black structure. A lot more. And it's people out here. I like this guy, I don't know if you ever heard of Dr. Umar Johnson. He's a really fucking super Marcus Garvey head, and like he pumped that white devil shit and all of that, and he heavy on it. And I love his rhetoric. He's scared the fuck out of white people. It's so funny, but I love to listen to him because he does say a lot of solid things, and he's created like a plan to where we could actually make that happen. But it's gonna take all these rich black folks unifying that dollar, you know, and that's the tough thing.
Yeah.
White people have no problem unifying that dollar, which is crazy. I don't even understand how we have a problem with that because we never really, you know, and that's why I say Atlanta, they got a good start on that. They know that that's the way to do it. So if they could just spread that to the rest of the fucking world, we may be okay. And we got to get Killer Mike in the fucking presidency. But next, I want to fucking talk about this lady, goddamn Candace Owens, and I really should not be putting this type of light on her, but I have to because I can't get this through my head. Can you help me with this? This chick looked like my little cousin or some shit, and
yeah.
Please, roll a blunt for this one. We got it because this requires. I'm gonna play just a little bit of this. I got it queued up, so I'm gonna run a little bit.
I wanted to say online there were so many emotions and so much pressure for me to go with the popular opinion about who George Floyd was. And sometimes it can be difficult when there are just so many external pressures to say what you believe. And this was an instance where I felt like my silence would have been better in the beginning.
She's breaking her silence,
when I think about it, I realized that we are being sold a lot of lies, and at the detriment to the Black community, at the detriment to the white community, and at the detriment to America as a whole. So I want to come out and say that I do not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America.
I'm gonna just stop right there for a second.
Yeah, she can suck a fat one already.
Oh my God. What does it mean for you not to support George Floyd? What does that mean? Just that statement, like to say I do not support George Floyd. What does that mean? Just because I might be retarded, so I'm just trying to get a.
When she said that, when she said she doesn't support him, she went down to specifics saying that she doesn't support his life choices, what happened before all this shit happened.
Okay.
How you gonna talk about somebody's life and you don't know nothing about it personal? You hear what you
Number
hear.
Number one. Right.
You see what I'm saying? And regardless of what this man did in his life, he still shouldn't have died that way.
Exactly.
So how did that come up?
How did that come up?
Yeah.
How did that?
And what does that have to do with how he died? I don't know. That makes zero sense to me. He died how he died. His past experiences and choices should have nothing really to do with that at all. I don't understand why she wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So what she's saying is, I do not support George Floyd as a person in life. She feels like he's a failure in life, so I do not support anything about him. Is what she's saying.
And that's what she's talking about. It's talking about his life. But how does that make any justice on the situation? She was like, I don't support what Coleman did as far as being nailed on his neck. And then she don't like the fact that he died the way he did. But she don't support the movement because of how his life was. I'm like, come on, like, what does that make? How does that make any sense?
His death and this whole incident is really just like the lid blowing off on a situation, a stigma that's been around for so long. Like this is a problem that we've had to deal with for a while. Like George Floyd was really like the final idol.
The last OG.
The last OG. The last straw. So whatever his past choices really don't have anything to do
absolutely nothing
with this. That's irrelevant.
I mean, so like I wonder if she supports the cop. Let me see. I'm gonna keep playing.
I'm going to explain why, and I hope that some of you guys will understand where I'm coming from. I have spent a considerable amount of time reading a lot of Black authors that I think are some of the most brilliant Black Americans reading. Walter Williams, Shelby Steele, Thomas Sowell, and
this is where she fucked me up. Like she's naming really good Black writers, like forward-thinking Black writers, and then she says some dumb shit like this. This is where she fucks me up because I'm like, okay, you should be smart enough to do this, and this is why I'm like, oh, you're just doing this for money, which make you look. I don't support nothing that you are. Like, I can't. If that's all you're doing it for, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep playing.
Recently came across something that was an idea that was planted into my head by Shelby Steele, and it has been something that I cannot forget. It is something that will stick with me for the rest of my life.
What's that?
And it is something that I hope for the Black Americans that are watching will stick with you for the rest of your life.
Something to stick with.
Shelby Steele said that the Black community is unique from other communities. Our culture is unique from other communities because we are the only community that caters to the bottom denominator of our society. Now, let me explain what that means. it means to say that not every Black American is a criminal, not every Black American is committing crimes, but we are unique in that we are the only people that fight and scream and demand support and justice for the people in our community that are up to no good. You would be.
Do you think that's true? I don't. I've seen white people play and scream for their fucking rapist sons. I've seen that. for their sons who kill people. I've seen that happen.
I stopped listening the first time I seen that video. I stopped listening to it. She just spitting so much nonsense, bro. I'm sorry.
On a humanity level, even as a mother of children, you can tell she ain't got no kids. Even as a mother of children, you will go beyond your way to protect your child in their worst of life.
Absolutely.
I don't know what the fuck she talking about. I don't know what the hell she talking about. I'm gonna keep her going though, because this is.
Be hard pressed to find, a Jewish person who has spent 5 stints in prison, who commits a crime and dies while committing a crime, and that the Jewish people champion and demand justice for. You will be hard pressed to find this in white America. You'll be hard pressed to find this even
in my hard pressed
America. No. There is a person that is spent multiple times in prison. You are not going to see a bunch of Latinos coming out demanding justice for this person, even if, and I want to be very clear, what I'm saying is not any defense for Derek Chauvin. I hope Derek Chauvin gets the justice that he deserves to be, implemented upon him, and that the family
she's trying to cover her ass
for the way that he died. But I also am not going to accept the narrative that this is the best the Black community has to offer. For whatever reason, it has become fashionable over the last 5 or 6 years for us to turn criminals into heroes overnight. And it is something that I find to be despicable, and it's something that I refuse to stand by any longer, and I'm not going to play a part in it, no matter how much pressure comes from Black liberals and Black conservatives as some token of people wanting you to believe that this is the only way you can be Black, is you have to say this was wrong, and that this person was amazing. I won't do that. George Floyd was not an amazing person, and as soon as this video hit the internet, I did just basic searches. Everyone jumped on it and was looking at the police officer, and everyone agrees that the police officer was wrong, and the police officer has been arrested. So that is not, the reason I'm not discussing that is because that is not something that has been misconstrued in the media. He has been turned into the devil.
This is the same type of bitch when Kobe died was like, but what about that rape case now? The same type of bitch, bro. It's like, for real? Could you really be that insensitive to what the fuck is going on? Like, she's like, yeah, the nigga fucking gave a counterfeit 20. That ain't my type. That ain't my type.
Yeah, this is more about what his death stands for than really like trying to break down the specifics.
How do we feel about Candace Owens being paid to pump this shit? Like, are we supposed to ignore this, right? Or this is supposed to be, because it's white people who look at her and support her. She's one of Trump's biggest advocates. She's like Trump all the way. You know what I mean? He can't. It's nothing he can do. He can do no wrong. She's about all the policies. She goes and grabs people by the pussy still. Yeah. It's all out here, man. And I hate the way she's trying to play both sides of the fence here. But she's really on one whole side of the fence. She's not completely, but she'll try to throw one foot over, like, yeah, I still fuck with y'all. Yeah, for sure. Oh man, I don't understand this, man. I don't understand. I didn't know that people were paid to push agendas. I'm just learning.
That's what you call a partnership, Will.
Yeah, man. But I thought they found people that just felt like that. I didn't know people play themselves.
I feel like it's at that moment where it's like you can't beat them, joint. So it's like I'm gonna get this person right here who kind of sees what I see and just pay them. Not saying that I know for sure that this lady's getting paid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it comes to this lady, you know what I'm saying? I can't knock the hustle. If she's getting paid,
she getting paid. She getting loot.
At the same time, it's going to be up to the individual. It's going to be up to the person whether they want to believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? Because you may have some of those people who completely agree with everything she's saying. And then you have people like us, it's like, no, what the fuck is she saying?
You know, you always gotta look at these comments sometimes when you look at these fucking videos. What's up with the? That's a whole. The comments is a whole fucking game in itself. Cause like I look at comments just to see, please don't let somebody be as dumb as this motherfucker that's saying whatever he's saying. And I pray to the Lord in heaven above that I don't see it, but like, oh my God, bro, it pops up, it comes, bro, in drones. Yeah. And you're like, no, this is not the world we live in. No, please let them all be trolls. Please let them not be. Nobody really feels like this. This world is so scary, Dre. You were right about the nuances of everybody because it's all about your perception.
That's what I'm saying. It's one big trying to understand.
My God.
It's up to the person. Everybody has their own personality. Everybody's going to understand it different than everybody else.
I just wish it was base level thing. It's like
thinking of it this way.
It's like I wish we saw the core things the same. But I guess that's what makes life unique is that everybody don't see things the same. But it's some shit that you be like, man, like we shouldn't kill each other, right? Obviously, like we all should feel that way in a sense. But we all can understand that there's circumstances where killing somebody, you'd be like, oh yeah, I probably would have did that myself. Like I probably would have reacted like that. Like when you say a grave injustice to you, like if you're sitting there looking at George Floyd get kneed, and that was a big one with me and Junior we talked about because we sitting here looking at it. And we're like, why is somebody filming it? And why are they not doing anything? Why is nobody just pushing his knee off of him? Like, why are you not making an action?
Yeah.
Fuck anything else, right?
Yeah, I remember. That's the biggest thing, bro.
Yeah, I don't care. I would have taken the bullet for George. I would have taken.
And it's so easy. It's easy for me to say that. It's easy for me to say that. And then you look at the people there, but none of the people do it. And you're like, man, what are black people? And you're like, it's a black guy right there. They show him on camera. And you're like, oh shit. And like, what is he doing? He's just talking them down. I mean, he's saying all the things that you would say, but he's not doing all the things that you would do. You know what I mean? Because he's like, oh, well, if they about to kill this nigga.
I mean, like, it's the guy, even the guy recording. Like, I wouldn't be able to keep that angle, like just staring at that. I wouldn't be able to do that. I would at least stop.
Exactly without having some type of reaction.
Yeah. Like
I mean, there was a reaction. Oh well, yeah, from the camera. That was a girl, that just came out. It was a black girl who recorded that from that main camera. Black woman, no girl. I haven't quite gotten to womanhood yet, I don't think. But like, yeah, I can't. I mean, I'd have to have put myself on the line. I guess even thinking about it, they'd have had both of us down there with knees and necks. You know what I mean? It probably would have been 2 dead black people. But it's like I can't understand where that comes from. How can somebody just look at that, film it? And I know she's sitting there filming it like, oh yeah, I'm doing my part. I'm gonna get this right on YouTube as soon as I get out of here. I can't imagine how that wrapped up. Like she just left and she looked at that shit on her phone and she left and was like, look at this shit I just recorded.
I wouldn't be able to.
But I mean, even at that though, bro, like for all of them, like, more than 4 people. I'm pretty sure it was more than 4 people because I saw more than just at least. I saw more than 5 just in the shot.
Yeah.
You had the one black guy, you had the lady, you had the kid that came out talking about the stuff, because the black guy was talking to him. He said there's a black woman right there. There was a black woman across the street. There was a couple of people that I'm pretty sure was behind everybody else.
Yeah.
And it still goes back to the same thing of you have 4 cops. Regardless, you have, just 4 cops. You had one person on his neck. Somebody could have easily just touched that nigga, just
touch him a little bit. You don't even have to do. You don't have to touch the officers. You don't even have to do nothing. Just go right to George, where you see it. Move that guy's fucking knee. Be like, dog, he can't fucking breathe. Yeah. Like, do I have to come lift your knee off of this motherfucker? Like, you know what I mean? And that's the best course of action to not necessarily get shot. Because we was talking about it. Who's like, all right, if you there, you got one officer sitting right there staring at everybody. Ready for whatever. He ain't got his hand necessarily on his gun. You know what I mean? So it ain't like he about to draw on you. But he's just standing there. And every time somebody, like the black dude got a little closer, and the Asian dude just stood up and got in his face like, yeah, nah. Yeah, you know what I mean? And so it's just, it's like, move that motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's the rage you feel. So it's times when you can justify.
At one point, one of the bystanders even said to Officer Derek Chauvin or something like that. He even said like, "Oh, you're enjoying this, huh? You're enjoying it." And he actually, I think he made eye contact with the guy who said that. And right after he said, like,
they said that to him.
Right after he made eye contact, he just looked right back down. He just kept going. So,
and the reason why that person said that is because he told him, "Stand up." He said, "Let me just get to my feet, man." He said, "Well, go ahead, stand up," with his knee in his neck. How the fuck is I'm gonna stand up?
You see, I didn't catch that.
I studied that motherfucker.
I literally just thought the officer Chauvin was just kneeling on him, you know, with his knee on him, and not saying anything, just watching him die.
He said that.
I didn't even catch that. That's crazy.
It is. It's intense. And what happened to where's COVID now? Are we still? I mean, because you know the protests kind of kind of fucked up our social distancing. I mean, are we still? We still? The mask must be the shit.
Are we still 6 feet from everybody?
That's what I'm saying, man. And this got me. If I don't see just a surge of cases here this next week.
Yeah. But I mean, before this happened, what were we all doing? We were all quarantined. We were all like inside, just locked up basically. And this is.
And then you show black people this shit.
And then this happens. It's you reach a point of enough is enough. Like fuck it. You reach a fuck it point, and then you just start. Then this is happening. You know, like people are out there with their masks and stuff because I mean it is a virus. But they're just like, fuck that shit. You know what I mean?
That's not what that is. How quickly that life matters. How quickly that life matters more than the fucking virus, bro. That half of us bought and half of us is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so and now I don't know if martial law has been implemented or if it's about to be implemented.
Yeah.
But that right there, I mean, before Trump was elected, that I even said that. I was like, this meant like this is gonna be the president to put us under martial law, to really like just have that freaking Uncle Sam fist on.
That shit is scary. And I feel like even some white people see that. You know, I can't think that black people are only people mindful of martial law and who would think that we would be the only ones who would lose our freedoms in such a thing.
But then your mind starts to race. You know, your mind starts to think. You know, when you see the pallets of the bricks, how this might be even like some sort of a setup and stuff like that. Then you start to go back to when the FEMA camp rumors or whatever that is. You see, you start to see some sort of
these camps. That's what scares me.
Yeah, you start to see this alignment of like things. The dots are somehow connecting now.
No, we can't have no concentration camps, bro. That's just not gonna happen.
That would be.
I'm sorry. They're gonna have to kill every black person before that happens. Bro. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to, cause it's gonna be a war, nigga. Like I know, I'm personally not rocking for that. I don't have the liberty to lose any of my liberties. I really don't. You know?
It's
zero.
It's crazy. We're going through a very historic moment right now.
Yeah.
For this country and also for the world. There's other countries that are also protesting. It really has been. It's just been an underlying issue for so long, and it's that water drop effect, you know, like that torture, that water drop torture where you get droplets of water just constantly.
Talking about waterboarding?
I don't know if it's waterboarding, but there's this like torture, this like way of torturing people that you get these water drops just slightly dropping on your forehead. And okay, you're fine for now, but over time, it drives you crazy. Yeah, so it's that type of effect.
I don't do torture. See, you torture me. You gonna get the answer you want.
Yeah. I mean, we're at a point. It's like it's that water drop effect, and right now we're screaming. It's enough is enough.
No, enough is enough. And now I'm just thinking what we need to do to get involved. And the only way I see it is voting. And nobody wants to really hear that shit. You know, you be like, I gotta vote. So that means to change some shit, I gotta wait for the election and learn
people
what person is gonna fuck me. We want it right now. Like, nah, do I gotta go down to the building and write a new petition myself for some shit? Like, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you evoke actual change to where we have policy? You have to come up with a whole policy. Like, you can't just say, oh, like me saying that I want police to police the communities they live in. The reality of that, I have to come up with a whole fucking thing. I can't just have that. I have to have a whole thing with a policy that has checks and balances and like that takes in all angles of what could happen, you know. And that's work. Like you got to dedicate your life to it. So it's already people who dedicates their life to that. So why not link up with those people and those establishments that's already in that vein? And that's what I feel like we have to do. Because there's organizations out here. It's organizations that's their livelihood is fighting for injustice. That's what they do every single day. So for entertainers who that's not your everyday thing, you have to start investing your money and some time into those things. It's the only way, because those things are usually scarcely underfunded. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of organizations doing real work that just don't got no money. But they there. You see them with a little camera and a fucking microphone, collecting data. I know a real good one called We All Be TV, and it's just just a black dude and his family, and they run this network, and they just give truth. Boom, boom, boom. They had Dick Gregory. He was a mainstay before he died. Another thing about Dick Gregory, you know, my mother took care of him right before he passed in DC. Really? Yeah, and she was talking about how that nigga was just giving her game. Because when he talks to a black woman, he give her the shit. Because he like, you know, the world do you the worst. So I'm about to give you everything I got. So he said that she couldn't even handle all the information that nigga was pumping into her. Because he talks like a fucking, he like, how's your health? What you putting in your head? What you putting in your head? He asking all the like, you know what I mean? He really want to understand what you buying. You know, you know. And so I just feel like it's a time for us as black people and then us young black people to really get smart, because the revolution always happens with young black people, or young people, period. You know, we spearhead a lot of that, you know, and then the old people have to follow because our fucking renegade is so crazy. You know, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all young motherfuckers.
Let's see what they do with the textbooks for this one. The history books for this one.
It's funny you say that, because that's going to be the interesting thing, is how they teach this moment in the future. You're absolutely right, because you're gonna see how they're gonna teach it. It's gonna be in a skewed way. Hopefully not. I don't want to put that out.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully we get to a point where, you know, that'll be different, you know, and that's really what we got to start too on the curriculum. Back again to fucking Umar Johnson and the shit that he's trying to start up. You know, I give him praise. And if you can go and check him out at some point, I'm telling you, y'all gonna be impressed about it. You know, because this shit has to stop. And I see us getting involved. I see Killer Mike. Let's all vote Killer Mike in for presidency. Yeah, fuck what he's saying. Are we voting for Biden? Who is black people voting for in this election for president?
That's the thing. I don't even know anymore, because even Biden himself has some shit where it's like he said something wrong towards the black community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he's done that.
It was a video he did with Charlemagne.
I see it.
During his presidency campaign.
He said that
he done fucked up himself.
Well, see, the reason why we feel a certain way about it is because he's trying to tell black people what's gonna, like, to make a statement to say if you don't vote for, if you don't know who to vote for in this election, if you're not black, like, you can't determine what makes me black. So that's why that was offensive. Yeah. Because who the fuck are you? Yeah. You know what I mean? I can vote for Trump if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to fucking tell me what makes me black. You know what I mean? But like, that's just a little ignorant thing that he said that he always says. Right now, are you gonna get a of all of our choices? Who else do we got? We got Bernie.
No, Bernie.
He's done, right?
He's done.
Yeah, he's always done. Bernie, we always get on a Bernie track and it's like,
Yeah.
they just kill that nigga out quick. They know they are. He's like, that's his position. It's like, just get people out and thinking about voting, and then we'll slide fucking Biden in. I wasn't even hearing about Biden back when fucking Bernie was campaigning hard. Shit is crazy. So I'm guessing we're gonna have to vote for Biden. And the thing that I say that for is because I need somebody who at least thinks about black people. Because I mean, to get a president that has a black agenda, that's like, whoa. What do you want? Like, even Obama's a black agenda wasn't that strong. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not really banking on that, but I need a nigga who will think about black people. And that's one thing that Biden will do. And he try to lean on I'm heavy in the black community. I'm blue collar. You know where I come from? You know what I used to do for a living? He lean on that shit to get the black votes. And he's going to get it. He's going to get the black votes, regardless of what he said to Charlemagne, because you have no other choice. You have no other choice. Unless you're going to write somebody in, but there's no unity on that. If we really wanted to get Killer Mike in there, we don't have enough people who's really going to vote Killer Mike. First of all, a lot of people don't even know who he is.
What are they going to write? Killer Mike on the ballot?
Killer Mike, bro. That's what you write. You're like, right, Killer Mike? Okay.
So he's Killer Mike. Let's write it down.
Killer. Okay. We're gonna nominate a killer. Okay. We're gonna put a killer in the White House. Okay. That's what we're gonna do. But see, I think that's why
Killer Mike is definitely going on the ballot this year.
I mean, shoot, somebody's gonna write him, especially in Atlanta. If it's not me,
I'd register right now and vote for Killer Mike if he was running. That's the thing.
I would.
Yeah, I'm not registered, but I plan on registering to vote. Like, especially now, because goddamn, I should have done it before. But,
I don't blame you for doing it before, because the election that you were able to vote in, was a shit show.
It was a shit show.
I mean, I couldn't vote.
I wasn't trying to vote for
I wasn't trying
to vote for Trump. I wasn't trying to vote for Hillary.
You got me.
Yeah, my hands were tied.
My hands were tied.
And
see, that's the fucked up thing about it, because they tell you to vote. And I just remember my thought process the first time I voted. I was like, I don't know none of these motherfuckers. And I tried to do some homework before it. I was like, all right, so these motherfuckers. And you're like, nah, you lose interest in that because of all of these different white people you see. You don't see, first of all, you don't see nothing that resembles you. You don't see nothing that looks like it gives a fuck about you. So you're just like, who do I choose? Maybe I should choose the most off-brand motherfucker. You'd be like, yeah, I might choose him, but I don't know him. I do know these two. You know what I mean? So out of them two, you'd be like, boom. And see, for my election, it was very easy. I had the Obama one. But trust and believe, Obama was the only one I knew. And the governor of Maryland, I knew her. You know what I mean? So them two. That was it. All the other names I'm foreign to. And see, that's the thing about voting. I don't know how efficient it can be if you got your voter going in and I only know two motherfuckers. It's a popularity contest at the end of the day.
Really?
So how efficient is even voting? You know, and they know that they can sway it. I just have to be the most popular. That's how Trump becomes the president. That's how, if any rapper ran, he might become the president. Because it's a popularity contest. And if you cater to if you play the sway, if you sway the right way.
Yeah. Trump becoming president kind of makes it like an open format now. Basically, if Trump fucking became president, then why not have Kanye run for?
That's what I'm saying.
Why not have Kanye or Killer Mike or
It blew my mind. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California. It blew my mind. I couldn't understand it until I was telling him Reagan was an actor. He was in a movie. Yeah. Reagan, the president. You know what I mean? So it wasn't the first time we made a move like that. You know what I mean? And then I can't even think back to, who knows, Andrew Jackson might have been a great playwright or some shit. I don't know. It could have always happened. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily sure of it, but that's a thing. The most popular person wins. And don't let that popular person have a couple things that you give a fuck about that they give a fuck about. And then it's a wrap. And with Trump, what did he sell? He sold confidence. He sold blind confidence. That's what anybody needs. Everybody want to follow somebody with confidence. I don't even care what the fuck you talk about. It's like, that nigga's confident. So we're going to follow that motherfucker. He sound like he know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to a lot of the time.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, there's a difference between being confident and then being ignorant.
Very true.
That's another thing that I feel like he really sold was ignorance.
But you could sell some ignorance by being confident.
Well, I mean, you need confidence to really believe in your ignorance.
You know what I mean?
They kind of go hand in hand.
Like
really.
Hitler.
Yeah.
One thing you cannot say he wasn't confident. About the only thing he was. You know what I mean? I mean, do you need that to even sell? Yeah, it's a requirement if you're selling ignorance to have confidence. Absolutely. It is. But we require confidence in our president anyway. You ain't seen no unconfident motherfucker sitting in that seat. George Bush, I've only had what I had. I had Clinton. These are the presidents I remember. Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump. That's my whole life of presidency. That's crazy.
The thing about Trump is that he was able to cater to like a demographic that like just wanted a positive economic change. He was able to cater to them, but most importantly, he was able to cater to that
the redneck.
In a sense, yeah, to the redneck, the racist America part of this.
Oh, he tapped in.
Yeah,
he tapped into.
He was able to feed in.
Bro,
feed that.
He themed into it. He became a superhero for them motherfucker. The red hat. You know what I mean? Him at the Make America Great shit. And that I remember when that first came out, nigga was like, Make America Great Again, my nigga, like for real. Like the turn of heads that presented. He didn't give a fuck.
So like, okay,
yes,
when I hear that
that was stupid.
Yeah, very. When I hear "Make America Great Again," my first like initial thought is like, so what is that supposed to mean? Was it supposed to be great in like the 50s, 60s, like when you guys really had the elbow on the fucking African American community? Like, is that supposed to be the great again? Like, what do you mean by great again? Is that
the whites only.
When the whites were up on top, is that what you mean by great again? Like, what is?
Yeah, it's lost that steam. If that's what you consider great, you're in trouble. Yeah, if those are the times that you consider great, you know, they're long gone in a sense. You know what I mean? It's not gonna look that way. We still deal with those problems, but they look different. We got the internet now. You know what I mean? We got different players in this game. It's a different game. And like I was saying, the internet being here now and in full swing, it really matters. But even the government, they're figuring out how to manipulate that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people even said before this quarantine and this George Floyd, Trump was probably going to win again. But the way he's handled these tragedies, they like, oh nah, we can't have that. You know what I mean? The whole game has changed.
I'm not gonna lie. If he gets elected again, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move out of this country. I'm getting out of this country. I can't do that. I can't. I'm moving to Dominican.
That's what they said. Yeah, that's what a lot of people said. I might come over there.
Yeah, I'll yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm Dominican.
Yeah, like, I'm honorary Dominican.
Yeah, so if Trump is elected again, I'm out of here.
You getting the fuck out of here. I had the chance to leave. Me and Kilo. I was telling him we was this nigga came and he heard us perform. He was like, "Nigga, I'm gonna bring y'all to Kazakhstan." And I didn't know Kazakhstan was a real place. I thought I saw it on Borat, and I thought that was like a
that's what I think of. I'm sorry, but like I just think of Borat.
I didn't know it was real.
But it's one of those low key,
super
places that you don't really hear it too much about. So
the nigga was like, "Nigga, I can make it. Nigga, you could be the new Tupac over there." And I thought about it, and I was like, nah, that's just fucking fun. I was like, I ain't even made an impact here in the States. I was like, man, I can't just go over there and blow up. But I told her, I was like, man, maybe it might have been a decent idea to blow up over there, then come back with a fan base. I'm like, damn, this thing got 2.2 followers. Who the fuck is this nigga? You know what I mean? So
I got 2.2.
2. And I'm coming into this thing. You just hearing the song from me. Getting jiggy with it. Oh shit. But no, man. On a brighter note, it's good to see the protesters dancing. I like that. When I saw it's like in some places the protesters are just like breaking out in flash dances and shit. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. It lightens the spirit of it. And me and Junior was talking about it. It'd be cool. We could do the like rubber bullets or the paintball guns if you're giving them to the protesters too, because then we can have a big fucking paintball fight.
I mean, rubber bullets. I don't know if you've seen, but rubber bullets, man, they're a lot more fatal than we.
Because they're bullets, real bullets wrapped in rubber.
It's. Yeah.
That's why.
I mean, if we had like, I don't know, maybe like the paintball guns, and we could freeze the paintballs, then maybe we'd have like some sort of like fighting.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that gotta hurt like fuck.
Oh man, that it does.
A frozen paintball?
Yes, it does. That
to the temple, nigga.
That hurts a lot. I mean, I've been shot, bro. I've been shot. Well, okay, I used to go paintballing a lot when I was younger, right? So sometimes, like even without a frozen paintball, sometimes I used to get hit, and the ball, like the paintball, would hit me and then just bounce off. Sometimes,
right?
Not even explode. Not even explode.
That's the hurt.
That alone is painful.
That's the worst.
So when you freeze a paintball.
Realistically, I got shot in the eye with a paintball.
Oh no! Oh no! Where was your goggles, man? I said, where was your goggles?
See, that's the thing. I was being me. Remember, the dude that lived behind our Robin's house was basically like the Spanish dude back then.
Okay, Aunt Robin. For anybody who's looking, we have an aunt, and she lives in Virginia. And somebody who's talking about something.
I should have definitely like.
I got you. Don't worry about it. I got your back plan.
Man, this dude named Rico that lived behind me. I used to actually live in Virginia, so we were playing after school, and he had a paintball gun, and he was chasing me with it, right?
Yeah. And
I ended up kind of like hide behind his boat, and when I hid behind his boat, he was shooting at the boat, and when I ducked out to look where he was at, the paintball ended up bouncing off the boat and hit me in the eye.
Fuck that noise.
You see what I'm saying? So I pretty much had a swollen eye for a good maybe like week or so.
God damn. Oof. How bad did it swell up like a fucking golf ball?
Glasses and everything. I couldn't look in the sun.
Oh damn.
Damn, Drizzy.
Imagine that. That wasn't even from the barrel to his eye. That ricocheted and got him.
Bruh. I had so much shit happen.
Yeah. We gotta go paintballing again. I want to do that shit.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. We can do it. We can do it in VR, basically.
We definitely can do it.
It's the same.
Well, he can't do it in VR. Virtual reality. This is the fucking future, by the way.
Oh yeah.
He has a VR system, and my cousin here, he just got one recently. He got an Oculus.
Quest. The Quest.
Is it okay?
The
Oculus, right?
Oculus is the company.
And Quest is
the model of headset that you got.
Gotcha. So you got the Oculus Quest, but something unfortunate happened to his Quest, so he's not online right now. But he's in the middle of getting that back. You know what I mean? It's terrible to just get into the world.
And to be honest, like with everything that's going on, I can't help but find myself putting on my freaking headset.
It's a great escape.
Try to escape from all of this chaos.
It's crazy.
It's a big thing.
That in itself is tragic, but that's like it's a very good form of escape from stress and from all things bad.
Yeah, and you can build
and it's entertaining. That's the thing about it. It's an entertainment form. You know what I'm saying? Like, it will get you immersed into, you know what I'm saying, that whole situation. So it's definitely something to kind of get your mind off of everything that goes on in life right now.
Dog, and it'll take you away because this nigga put me in the game. What was it? Where I'm in the spaceship.
That one, No Man's Sky.
No fucking Man's Sky. Let me tell you about this shit, bro. He put you in. You're first of all, you're in outer space, and you're on a particular planet. You just on it. I was on a planet. I don't know what planet it was. It hasn't been named. You discover things on the planet, and you have almost like a spaceship. You know what I mean? Almost like a mini spaceship, if you will.
I mean, yeah, it's a ship. Okay, so basically, you start off on a random planet, and this is a game that's full of like, I don't know how many quintillion like planet.
It's like that. It's that fucking many.
It's that many, man. It's got like a ridiculous amount of galaxies. And
that always appeals to me about any game. When you have a fat ass world like that seems like you won't ever get to the end of it, or you'll never memorize it or whatever. That's like you got me.
Yeah, no, it's procedurally generated, so there's just it's like a fantasy-ish replica of the universe.
Yeah.
So it's really intense, especially when you're in VR.
No, it's dumb intense.
Going in, when you're flying, first of all, in VR, it's unbelievable because you're in your ship, you're going, you see planets, and then you can just choose one. You're like, okay, that one over there. Let's see what that one is.
Right.
Boom. You jump into a warp or whatever. You get in. You get
that
there.
Warp is crazy too.
Yeah.
It's like super fast.
Yeah. Everything goes fucking insane. It's really fast. Once you're there, you're able to build there. You're able to. So that's just one.
Collect and fucking
one.
You can dig. You can dig in the land.
Yeah.
Create shit.
So when you're playing stuff like that, it's an unbelievable escape from what's happening.
Yeah, you're creating another world.
And exploring worlds.
Big fact.
Yeah, that.
And cops are not killing motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's a way to run away from it all, But then there comes a time. Yeah, there comes a time, when you obviously take your headset off. And you're back in this. So you have to.
It kind of makes it. I ain't gonna lie though. It makes the regular world seem a little mundane at first, because you're like, when how in the Matrix, right? The Matrix seems so crazy and cool and slow motion and all of this shit, but then you come out of it, and then they just like they're all wearing like nylon shirts and shit and eating potted meat and just fucking. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing to do on the ship. They're just like there. It's got this cold blue look to it. You're just like, all right. Like it makes the kind of regular world seem like, what the fuck are we down here? You know what I mean? But it's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful escape. I love it, man. VR is the future.
It is definitely the future.
It's gonna be training for everything at some point. I could definitely see that. I can see motherfuckers.
It's not just for games too. You can. Sometimes when I'm working, I'll work off of my headset. I'll put it on and I'll go into this application. It's called Big Screen.
Yeah.
And so what we do
that
is crazy. So what we'll do is we'll be in either a movie theater, a living room, a place where there's like a big screen, and then I can have a buddy of mine, or in this case like my coworker. We'll both be in that room, and I can display what's on my computer, or he can display what's on his computer, and we kind of like take notes there. We'll talk, and it's like how we are right now in VR. Like you see my avatar, I see my friend's avatar, and we can discuss something like create together. And my buddy's in Pennsylvania,
right?
And I'm in another state.
It's crazy.
So yeah, that alone.
So if you was in a long distance relationship with a bit, oh man, this would do wonders. That might close the gap a little bit because I hate long distance relationships, but that can help. If both of y'all got that shit.
If that becomes the thing when it comes to relationships, bro, I swear, man, that's crazy.
Because you and your girl got movie night and shit.
Yeah.
And y'all could do little different activities and shit in there. And then I'm sure they're gonna get it to a point where y'all can end up fucking in there.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. I'm like, first of all, me personally, I'm good.
No, that's when I'm coming.
That's when you're buying it.
That's when I'm buying one day.
You're buying your headset. I'm about to order this.
Yeah, they got this little pussy attachment to it. You never know the difference. Nah, no bullshit. Women gonna be in trouble if that shit actually gets off. Yeah. I was telling him that. I was like, women would be in big trouble.
Well, what happens to like the post nut clarity.
With
that headset on.
It's just as shameful as being
like you're just like, what have I done? Like,
there's no way around it. It's just. The shame level is not even a more.
The shame level is maximized.
When you're cleaning up the fucking sperm.
You got a little bit of man gravy on your controllers and shit. What do you do then?
Oh my god.
That's why for me, I'm like, nah, because I already know, like, I have like a pretty severe post nut clarity. Like, I start to question. I start to question a lot of stuff.
My shit is gnarly as fuck too, bro.
You know what I mean? So then to like nut and then have that headset on, your dick is in like a fucking pocket pussy connected to your computer. What?
Like, imagine what the attachment is, bro.
Yeah, it's gotta be a pocket pussy or some shit.
I picture it in my mind. I picture it as like, yes, like a pocket pussy with like a cable.
Yeah.
A cable that goes to the computer.
Yeah, bro.
So you're like, that's how I picture that. And then somehow like the girl on the other end, like your girl that's in
she's
like
got like a dick.
She's got like a dildo connected to the computer.
And that shit got a heartbeat.
And you can speed the heart rate. Yeah, you can speed the motherfucker up, slow it down. You know what I mean? Like at your pace. I guess you go with the pace that you fucking the actual thing.
What's that?
What'd you say?
I said that shit gonna, after y'all done, it's gonna say y'all ran 400 steps.
I don't even know what you just said, but it sounds like some truth. What'd you say?
Like, wait, hold on. After you said after you're done, what happens? It counts what?
I feel like if you're using that thing after you're done, the thing is gonna end up telling you like with the heart. You know how when you
your heart rate, like your stats.
Yeah, the stats.
It gives you like stats after you come, like after you fuck.
Yeah, it tells you how much you came.
Like that bitch is gonna give you stats.
Oh Lord Jesus. No, that's
like how many strokes you got in.
Yeah.
Like the
hey, that might be useful though.
That might be how many strokes you got in, the velocity.
Yo, you got
like the pressure, the fucking temperature.
Nah, you gotta know that. That'll help you.
Your stamina.
That'll help your game out though. I can see that as being really good.
You're trying to get a higher stroke count, like it's a high score.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
It'll be like what's your height, your weight, and shit.
See, y'all playing around.
It's like, yeah, player, I just got 300 strokes and four big pups. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, player, beat that motherfucker. You imagine, bro?
I can see it, bro. I can see that shit happening, bro. I know about these, like, see, y'all laughing. I know what a pocket pussy feel like. Y'all don't know.
Oh, shit.
No, y'all don't know. I do. I had a bitch buy me one. I swear. I did not purchase it myself, just to put it out there. I did not purchase it myself.
That's the only pass, huh? I think I gotta convince my girl to get me one.
Yeah, that's the only pass. Somebody had to buy it for you.
Like,
you cannot buy it for yourself. That's the only pass. I didn't even know it was a thing. And then she gave it to me, and I wasn't gonna try it. When I got it, I was like, "Oh, you wow." You know what I mean? And I just kind of put it away. But then I looked at it one night, because I was going to beat off anyway. So I was like, mine is
you were about to beat off and shit, and then you were like, brain blast.
Yo, yeah.
Brain blast. And then you look to your left. You look to your left, and you see it's in the closet in the back. You're like,
even at the time, I feel like Will probably like set the mood and everything.
Oh, bro, I set the mood. brother, I had candles lit.
Had the candle.
I was playing some Barry White, all that shit, bro.
He had Barry White going on. He had the candles going on, and he was about to pump some Lubriderm.
Let me tell you. I had to learn that that's where you go with it, right? So I ain't know. This is my first time. So I just stuck my dick in it just to kind of feel. So I got my shit kind of chilled. I was like, let me feel. I was like, damn, I'm gonna need some lubrication for this shit. And I'm gonna give you the honest shit about a pocket pussy. It was wildly close. It was wildly close. And that's when I got a little nervous. Because I was like, if this little bullshit can get kind of close.
Did you stroke your shit with it, or did you like put it in between? Like,
good question.
Fuck it.
Good question.
Did you fuck it?
No,
or did you jerk off?
I jerked with it. I jerked with it. Because that's a good question. That's a good question. Because as I was doing it, I kind of thought, man, this would be kind of better if I had it propped up. That's funny as shit. This would be better if I had it fucking.
Bro, why am I picturing you, bro? Like, literally fucking a pocket pussy, bro. Like I don't know, you lifted the mattress,
yeah, bro,
and like sat it in between the mattress and the frame, so it can be like still. Why am I picturing you doing this, bro? Like just like
shit,
your
bro.
face, like.
Nah, I kept it real traditional.
At some point in that bed, she was just like, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you.
Wait.
It got good to me, for sure.
When he started getting used to it, like his like sixth time around.
It wasn't that many.
His like.
Definitely was more than one under six.
Okay, like his third time around.
There we go.
He had it planned and everything. It was already at this point. It was part of it was part of his regimen at this point.
Yeah.
It was like
No, it never got to the regimen.
You looked at
the shame, like you said, the shame that comes over you afterwards. I couldn't continue to do that shit. And so what I ended up doing was I just left it at my father's house because him and my mother's divorced, so I figured, hey, he might could use this.
He go, it's brand new, don't worry.
Yeah. And the thing is, I didn't just give it to him. I just kind of left it in my closet, and this nigga discovered it. That's what made it even funnier.
Oh shit!
He was just like, I guess I don't know. He goes in like the old room of mine, I guess just to fucking have a memory. But he goes in that motherfucker.
He hit the drawer, it fell off. He's like,
I don't know. Somehow that shit fell on his head or something. He was just like, he hit me. The way he hit me was funny. He was like, yo, hey, I found something in your room. I was like, he ain't found this shit. He found the motherfucker, and I was like, yeah, man, that's all you there.
You found the Linda, huh?
Yeah. I said I left it for a reason.
It was an awkward moment. Where my mother came in my room when I'm with Shorty. Y'all and shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
When my mother came in, it was kind of like, it was weird as fuck. So I can understand, like.
Yeah.
And it was awkward as fuck.
See, you got caught in the moment though. Like, was you digging in, or was you on that? Y'all was about to get to the juice, and then keep out there.
No, we was in the middle.
Oh,
we was in the middle of the whole thing.
So hold on. The real question is, did you stop fucking, or did you just pause? I said, did you stop fucking, or did you just pause? Because you like, oh, this is my house.
What am I supposed to keep doing? My mother sitting right there.
Was she talking? Was she saying things?
At first, I'm trying to cover her up because she had like her left titty out and shit.
Oh damn! You trying to cover the nipple? He was like, no,
we weren't covered though. That's the thing. Like, it was just like her top half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you under the covers and she out of the covers? That's hilarious.
Yeah, for me, I've never been caught in any like sexual act, except for one time.
Oh shit!
and this one time, it was the worst possible way to get caught. Like just bro. Okay, so this was a long time ago. I was living at my folks' place still, and then it was my cousin. One of my she actually recently had a kid not too long ago. Bless her soul. But she was the one who had caught me.
Oh shit,
bro! And it was my cousin. Like I was laughing a little bit like after that, but this girl, man, she was just. Oh, bro. Okay, so basically, the door. I'm on my bed. The door. When you walk in, you would be able to see me laying on my bed, and I could see you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So as soon as she was riding me, right, and I was just doing work, bam, right, just off the boom, boom, right, and literally it was on the way up and back down. Is when she had opened the door.
Oh wow! Like you saw the motion from your periphery.
It went boom, and I was like, "Oh shit, bro, that was like the first thing. She just opened the door, and she just like we made eye contact for like a solid 1.7 seconds, And right after that, she was just starting laughing, bro. Laughing, bro. And I went like this. I went,
you talking about a focus kill?
I grabbed the girl, like she was obviously, I was balls deep at this point. I popped her off and like did like a one movement, like Karen walk.
You did a Karen walk on that?
Yeah, to the manager, like to the door to just close that bitch. And she was laughing the whole way through. And I just closed that bitch, and because I forgot to lock the door. So I locked it. I went back, and she was just distraught, man. I had to, talk her.
Because of balls deep.
She saw me fucking in midst fornication.
So like, what was the conversation after that? Was when y'all saw each other like in the kitchen or some shit? How did that go?
I mean, for me, like, cause
you
okay,
yeah. You caught a nigga in his element.
I said, I remember the next time I saw her, I wasn't even in control of myself. All I could do was, I just have to stroke my fucking beard, like my little goatee. Sorry.
This is what I do.
was like,
this is a regular occurrence. You don't know what you liable to see fucking with me. You know what I mean?
Nothing but a casualty of war. That's all I had to say.
That's all you gotta do, bro.
I mean, I had to play it off like that because what was I gonna do? Like,
what was you gonna do?
You didn't see anything, right? I mean, I can't say that. She saw everything.
You saw me in the business, though. You know what I mean? That's hilarious, bro. I've never got caught fucking. I've been able to.
Only time
but hold on. I have. I take that back. Damn. I do got one.
You got one. Everybody has at least something.
And look, it's crazy. I ain't gonna get to
yeah. Either they get walked in on, or the door's kind of rattling, or something. You know what I mean? You get that moment of like, hold on. Let me go deal with this.
Yeah, everybody get that one, man. Everybody get that one. But it wasn't as well. It's always embarrassing. When my mother called me, she was just like, "What are you doing with that little thing?" Like, cause it wasn't like I was fully the age that you should be fucking. And I bet that throw a lot of parents, like when they see their kids like getting in the fucking at a young age, they're like, "Holy fuck, they are fucking or trying to fuck right now." You're like, "Oh, holy fuck, oh my god!" Like my mother. Look, I'm 29 years old. My mother, like a year ago, was still kind of shocked to know that I'm fucking out here. Like, cause I was like, I got my ex-girlfriend pregnant. And so when she found that out, she was like, "Oh, you fucking." like she had to process that. Like she knew I was fucking, but like, she like, "Damn, you dumping. Like you fucking and dumping.
You're fucking dumping. Yeah.
Like that's crazy." So I can only imagine being a mom. Even me as I'm thinking of me as a dad, and I don't want to be gay like my father, because my father, as I got older, he started hating on me getting pussy in the house, and I was like, "You should be on my side with this." But he was hating on it. I was like, "But maybe it's this thing of like this is my baby boy. I don't want pussy fucking him up right now." You know what I mean? Like, my baby boy. No, man, I want you still innocent, little man. I want you to still, be focused on your dreams, not this ass, brother. I just want you to. So I can understand where a father might be like, "Man, that pussy shit ain't for you right now. You need to chill that out and focus." And I can see me doing that, but I could never, like, if my son come to me like, "Dad, I'm getting pussy," like, I'll be like,
pussy, huh?
I feel you, little nigga, but like, nah, just chill. You're not ready, dog. I'm still paying for your whole life right now. Like you cannot support this pussy you're getting, okay? You don't understand that yet, but once you do, you'll thank me, son. I'm trying to save your life. And I don't want any more kids. So, because if you have a fucking kid, now I have a kid. Because you can't raise this motherfucker. So I see where a parent comes from when he's like, "Your son is fucking now." You're like, "All right, okay." You wrapping up? Nah, I'm fucking out here. Whoa, little nigga, whoa. You know what I mean? So it's a weird thing to be a parent. I'm sure. I'm not one yet, but I plan to be one, and I don't think I have mixed emotions about my son or my daughter. My daughter is a lot more cutthroat because I'm like my man Michael Shea said. He said, keep dick away from the family as long as you can. Because you got a daughter, just like program it. If you can program your daughter, just like, well, you don't want to do that. You don't want to overdo it because if you overdo it, she's a slut.
The chances.
You don't want to overdo it. You want to give them the freedom to be them, but like, you know this is a thing. You gotta put it on the table, but stay over. It's a weird thing. It's a weird balance with being a parent. You gotta really figure out, first of all, what your kid is naturally into already without your influences. Like, what the fuck are they doing? And then try to support it. You know what I mean? Because you can't force it.
Nah, yeah.
You can't force any of that shit.
Especially, you know, the newer the generation is, the more rebellious it's gonna get.
That's what I'm saying. And you know your child is gonna rebel you at some point. If you're smart, you know it's just gonna happen. Because that's how it goes. It's a natural rebellion that happens at some point. You know what I mean? And motherfuckers gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna figure this shit out on my own. Fuck you, mom, dad. I'm fucking this pussy. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to. I'm gonna do these drugs. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to until they realize, oh, shit is crazy. So it's tough. But like that's why I'm easing into that shit. I'm not rushing to get no kids.
Yeah, I mean, none of us really are.
Somehow I was ready. Nigga, when I dumped,
you wanted it. Yeah.
Nigga, I needed me a little mix, beautiful baby.
That's a beautiful situation.
Like
when you're having sex to have a child.
Yeah.
That is like, you know, that's a luxury that not a lot of us can fall on.
It's free, man. I couldn't even afford it.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford no fucking kid. But I wanted one. Oh my God, the countless of motherfuckers who have kids that can't afford them. You know, in some countries, that's not even a thing. It's against the law to have a kid. You know, they used to have an IQ test to tell you if you can have kids in this country.
What?
Yeah, man.
What? I had no idea about that, man. What?
It's like you want the best of the best.
So if you weren't over a certain IQ, you couldn't have children?
You couldn't have children, bro. And it's still like that in some countries.
I want to know what? Where is?
Look this up.
Hold on, bro.
You gotta, yeah.
What?
Yeah, put that in.
Just like
IQ test to have children.
That I don't believe that.
It's a real thing. But you think about it, because people want to make the best specimens ever.
That's
IQ test for kids. Nah. What is this? IQ test to have children in law. Courts racially biased for blacks.
like IQ tests in order to have children.
Yeah, this is some history shit I'm talking about.
No, I'm sure that was like a long time
ago.
But I've never that to me is.
I don't even know really what to put in to find that.
Yeah, I mean I'll have to.
Yeah, we gotta go in on that.
I'll have to do some background.
But isn't that crazy? If they came out with some shit like that today, you'd be like,
that's insane. I mean, like they do have in China. I know they have like I don't know if that's
the one child thing.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to figure out if that's still a thing too.
That's still the thing.
Because it's like niggas is having two. Like, what you got a brother or something? What's my man's name? Edwin. I got a sister or some shit.
He lives here now.
He does live here.
U.S. of A.
Hey, I'm telling you, they ain't got no freedom in China. If anybody's in China watching this, man, I feel for you. And they're trying to make us here in the United States just like you, motherfucker. So I'm not in a whole better boat. But
what we really need to be doing is taking notes of how they protest over there and apply here.
Yeah,
they're using luggages as shields, cones as like suppressants for the smoke bombs,
and then they got like they're mass producing it. Like they got them
lasers. They're shining lasers at cameras so it blinds the camera, conceals their.
That's cold as shit. They're going off over there.
And so like
I didn't even know they had that much protest, but it makes sense.
The front line the frontline protesters, they have more armor than the people in the back. So they have like all
system.
It's a system. They developed like this system. The way that they've been able to really come together as a whole, as a people, and communicate and structure, mobilize as a people. Yeah. That we definitely need to take notes from that. Like Killer Mike said, we need to like structure. We need to mobilize.
So true. And
strategize
and fucking put some action to it. You're absolutely right. And on that note, shit, Killer Mike for president. That's how I'm in this fucking cast.
Killer Mike for president.
Because shit, that's what we need, man. We need somebody that we all respect and see. That's just like us. But like, I'd like to see. It'd be hard to get white people to, and he would need white people to vote for him. And he would get some, but the people who don't know him, or he would have to have a campaign. It's like he couldn't win without one, just so people can know.
We can just throw him in.
Couldn't just throw him in. He wouldn't get enough juice. But Killer Mike for president, nigga. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. We need more hip hop in politics, and I'll leave it right there, man. Thanks for fucking joining us on this Patient Junkie podcast. If you watch the other 2 episodes, I don't end this formally, so get the fuck out of here. Do something with you. Drizzy, thanks, man.
What's up?
Nah, I said thank you, man. Thank you for fucking with me.
Yeah, no problem, man.
This was fun.
I did get some good news.
Bro, you put 1 hour and 35 apart in it.
I'm here.
You're a whole G out here. You're a whole G out here.
Respect.
All right, let me end this cast.
I did get some good news. That's why I kind of went quiet. I did get some good news, guys.
All right, good, man.
Share this. I actually am sending back my shit, so they're gonna send me a new one. The Oculus.
Oh, they're sending you. You were able to get a new Oculus.
Yeah, they